Did you know that there was almost a Captain America animated series in the mid-90s? Well, today I'm gonna open up the super secret case file and tell you all about it in a little segment I like to call Greetings fanboys and fangirls, I'm ERod and I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and welcome to Legends of Fandom, where I discuss fanboy films and shows that almost happened. Today we're going to talk about a nearly produced animated series starring everybody's favorite Star-Spangled Avenger, Captain America. Nowadays, the Sentinel of Liberty is one of the most beloved superheroes in the world, as he has to become a merchandising juggernaut thanks to the increase in his popularity due in part to his involvement in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which led to the third movie in his franchise to become one of the highest grossing films of all time. But that wasn't always the case with the Sentinel of Liberty, as dwindling comic book sales, 3 terrible movies, and the rising popularity of the 90s anti-heroes pushed the clean-cut Cavalier into the background, even though he's supposed to be one of the world's mightiest heroes, as well as the leader of the Avengers. Hell, in the 90s crossover event Marvel vs. DC, Batman defeated him one-on-one. Okay, just to recap, Captain America has super strength, speed, agility, years of military training, and an unbreakable shield. And yet he got his ass kicked by a guy with no powers, wearing a rubber bat suit, and armed with a bat-shaped boomerang.
First try.
My point is that in the 90s, like Rodney Dangerfield, Captain America got no respect. But legendary producer ERod and the dream team of Saban Entertainment were looking to change that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, let me take you back to the 90s and let's look at the state of the world of animation at that time. This is back when animated shows first started to become more mature and sophisticated. And for the first time ever, Warner Brothers Animation ruled the airwaves, with their series of interconnected shows based on the DC Comics brand. And each and every one of the shows that they produced was a massive hit, including Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, and Static Shock. Marvel, on the other hand, did not experience as much success on television at the time. But they did have a few wins under their belt, including X-Men the Animated Series and the 1994 Spider-Man series. On a side note, they also had an Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, and Fantastic Four shows on the air at the time. But sadly, these shows never garnered anything close to the ratings that X-Men and Spider-Man got. It was at this time that plans were put into motion to give Cap his own series on Fox Kids, with the intention of giving the First Avenger the same level of quality and care given to Spidey and X-Men. But unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be, and to this day, Captain America is yet to receive his own solo animated series. And no, his segments on the Marvel superhero show do not count, even though they had a pretty awesome theme song.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield.
Now, if things would have gone according to plan, Captain America the Animated Series would have been the third Marvel show featured on Fox Kids, and the show would have taken place in the same universe as the X-Men and Spider-Man animated series. All of this is evident in the fact that the creators of both shows made sure to introduce Cap in the respective series. In the X-Men episode Old Soldiers, a young Wolverine serving his country during World War II teams up with Cap to infiltrate a Nazi stronghold.
We'll need a can opener to get inside. No can opener, but these might do. Handy little gimmick.
And in Spider-Man, Cap appeared 3 times. First, in the episode The Black Cat, where it is revealed that Black Cat's father, John Hardesky, was present when Steve Rogers was given the super soldier serum that gave him his powers.
Gentlemen, meet the new champion of the Allied Forces, Captain America!
Then, in the 6 Forgotten Soldiers, Spider-Man teams up with the Star-Spangled Hero to take on the newly returned Red Skull.
I gather that she's important to you, but remember, you're also important. A lot of people are counting on you. People just like her. I know you want to go with her, but if you do, she may not have a world to wake up to. That's the price you pay when you do this job.
But the Captain America guest spot that serves as the most blatant piece of evidence that the character was supposed to have his own series came during the Secret War storyline, where Spider-Man is supposed to assemble a team of great heroes to save an alien world from the worst villains in the Marvel Universe. And who does Spidey choose? Storm, who was one of the stars of X-Men, Captain, Iron Man, who had his own show, the Fantastic Four, who also had their own show, and Captain America. One of these things is not like the other. And while we're on the subject, here's an interesting fact. This massive crossover was also supposed to feature the Incredible Hulk. But because his show was aired on UPN, the network refused to release the rights in order for the Green Goliath to appear in Spider-Man. So they decided to replace him with the Lizard. Yeah, that's just as great. The point is that they laid out the foundation to turn Captain America into a major force in the Marvel animated universe. So, at this point you're probably wondering, if they had produced the show, what would it have been about? Well, according to storyboard artist and potential showrunner Will Meugniot, the first few seasons of this series would have taken place in 1942, in the midst of World War II. Here, a patriotic civilian named Tommy Tompkins, yes, you heard me right, would have volunteered for Operation Rebirth and transformed into the world's first superhero, Captain America, tasked with stopping the Axis from taking over the world. And in order to protect his identity and ensure the well-being of his loved ones, the US Army would have given Tommy Tompkins the pseudonym Steve Rogers. The show would have featured Cap leading the Howling Commandos on top-secret missions all across Europe, battling the likes of Zemo, Baron Strucker, and the Red Skull. Cap's team would have been comprised of Bucky Barnes, Gabe Jones, Timothy Dum Dum Dugan, and Peggy Carter. Now, if this concept sounds insanely familiar, that's because it was also used in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Captain America the First Avenger. But this unmade cartoon and its supplemental materials were the first time that this idea had ever been documented, because in the comics from the 40s, Cap either worked with Bucky or worked alone, and that was it. It is also explicitly stated that the show would have featured the Commandos using advanced technology to fight the Skull and his forces. This of course would be in service of the toys that would have been released in conjunction with the series. Some historians have even gone as far as to label the show G.I. Joe with superheroes, which, to be perfectly honest, sounds totally awesome. Some sources say that the show was also supposed to feature Nick Fury, but unfortunately, the rights to the character were tied up in that wonderful Nick Fury movie starring David Hasselhoff that everyone loves.
Wrong!
In all seriousness, if you do come across Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., do not watch it, it is awful. Unless you're a masochist, then you'll probably enjoy it, but even then, you probably still hate it because it is that bad. Now, thanks to writer Steve Englehart, we actually know a little about what a few of the episodes would have been about. For starters, the creators of the show were forbidden from making any references to Nazis. The invading forces would have been referred to as Skull Troopers or Hydra. Gee, I'm so glad they got over that nonsense in the movies.
Hail Hydra.
Englehart says that he found out about the ban on Nazis after he wrote an episode in which the Red Skull rearranged Stonehenge into the shape of a swastika, and the network was quick to tell him that that wasn't gonna fly. Okay? Two things. Number one, the network needs to lighten up. And number two, rearranging Stonehenge into the shape of a swastika? That is equally as brilliant as it is evil. Englehart also wrote an episode in which the Skull steals the Stone of Scone and crowns himself the King of England. And there are some scattered rumors here and there of an alleged fight sequence between Cap and Skull within the inner workings of Big Ben, but little else is known about what would have transpired in the series. Now, while this show never got to the casting stages, there is one name that keeps coming up with a lot of the documentation related to this unmade show, who would have been the most likely candidate to play Captain America, who in fact also voiced him in all the Spider-Man episodes that I listed in this video, and that was David Hayter. Now, to gamers, David Hayter is the voice of Solid Snake. To cinephiles like myself, he is the screenwriter of X-Men, X2, and Watchmen. Yes, Solid Snake, the guy that wrote all those scripts in Captain America, were all the same guy. And it is a damn shame that this show was never made, because David would have done a fantastic job leading his own show.
No kidding. It looks to me like America needs heroes now more than ever.
And did I mention that David also did the voice of King Shark on The Flash? Which, by the way, reminds me that I also have a video on this channel called the Top 10 Most Meaningful Cast Members from The Flash. I worked really hard on that video, so you might want to check it out. But I digress. So, with such great writing, art, and potentially a great actor in the lead, why wasn't this show produced? The answer is simple. In the late 90s, Marvel went bankrupt. In fact, Marvel's financial problems were so great that at the time they had to cancel all the shows they had on television, including Avengers United They Stand, Spider-Man Unlimited, Silver Surfer, and the Marvel Action Hour. Which is crazy when you stop to think that currently they own the most financially successful film franchise of all time. But my friends, that is life. It has its ups and it has its downs. So that is the story of the unmade Captain America animated series. Would you like to see me open up another super secret case file in the future and talk about another unmade fanboy film or show? Let me know in the comment section below. Or better yet, give this video a thumbs up. The more thumbs up I get, the more inclined I will be to produce more videos like this one. Now, if you know of any other unmade fanboy films or shows, feel free to let me know at ERod@inbox.com so I can determine whether they are worthy of being a legend of fandom. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm ERod, I'm the Blockbuster Buster, and I'm going to keep on hoping that one day Captain America gets his own animated series, because there are very few superheroes that deserve it more.
When Captain America throws his mighty shield, all those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If he's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue will come through. When Captain America throws his mighty shield.
I haven't even read the instructions. Seriously, you are dumb for sticking with that old trash can lid when you can have this. You missed.